Welcome to the CCEF Blogcast, where CCEF authors read their own blogs. Today, Ed Welch is reading his blog titled Jonah's Psalm of Thanksgiving. Ed considers what we can learn from Jonah, who raises a song of praise to the Lord, even in the belly of a fish.
Jonah's Psalm of Thanksgiving. The story of Jonah is strange and filled with surprises. He's the only prophet who runs in the opposite direction. The true wise men of the story are Gentile sailors. There's a rescue-ish fish, and at the end, Jonah is one cranky prophet, to name just a few. Then there is his prayer, spoken from the fish's belly, which closely follows the tradition of the Psalms of Thanksgiving. It ends, "But I, with a voice of thanksgiving, will sacrifice to you. Salvation belongs to the Lord." And it's in the past tense. God has already done it. This prayer may be the most unexpected feature of all the parts of Jonah. It is good for our souls. How can Jonah speak this prayer from the belly of a fish as though he had already been delivered? He went from being thrown into a raging sea into something just as dangerous and more gross. Perhaps then we too can have high hopes and add a psalm of thanksgiving to our days, even when they are not going well. Jonah's prayer fits between these words. In verse 2, he says, "I called out to the Lord out of my distress, and he answered me. Out of the belly of Sheol I cried, and you heard my voice." At the end of the psalm, he says this, "When my life was fainting away, I remembered the Lord, and my prayer came to you into your holy temple." Jonah had no reason to think that he would be anything other than digested by this fish, and these are his first and last words. Why would he choose a psalm of thanksgiving rather than a psalm of lament? Well, it goes like this. Forgiveness of sins could feel a bit iffy in the Old Testament. The realities of mercy and grace were clear, yet questions persisted. Did you have to offer sacrifices for forgiveness? Were some sins so bad that they were beyond forgiveness? Jonah's sin, of course, was of a very bad sort. But these questions vanished when Jonah was thrown into a violent sea and didn't die. God gave him life. Though deliverance by being eaten might seem ironic to us, for Jonah, it was God's blatant rescue, and it was clear evidence that God had not abandoned him. Jonah's sins could not keep his God away. Even big sins could be forgiven. Simply put, God heard his prayer. Notice the bookends of the prayer. You heard my voice. My prayer came to you. God heard Jonah's voice because he was in the belly of the whale with him. His compassion was aroused. Forgiveness was assured, and God acted. Jonah was delivered from death. But now he needed back-to-back deliverances. What would God do about the fish? Given that God was near and heard him, Jonah seems unconcerned. His prayer actually has no request. He needed nothing more than God being with him. This is why he gives thanks.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the CCEF Blogcast. For more resources, including videos, books, podcasts, and articles, visit ccef.org. Today's fun fact is about CCF's office building, Bettler Hall. The original owner of Bettler Hall was a man named Friedrich Rosengarten. Among his many accomplishments, Friedrich was named chairman of the board at Merck & Company after a merger in 1927.